So Sheryl Swoops is at it again. And by at it again, I mean she's running her mouth. This time she's coming after Sophie Cunningham. We all know Sophie Cunningham sent a pretty loud message. By the way, a message that wouldn't have been needed had the WNBA referees done their job during that Connecticut Sun-Indiana Fever game.
What happens when a WNBA legend turns on one of its grittiest role players, all for defending the league's biggest star? Sheryl Swoopes, one of the original faces of women's basketball, just launched a fiery verbal attack against Sophie Cunningham. But fans aren't buying it because this time it's not about basketball, it's about power, double standards, and who's allowed to stand up for Caitlin Clark.
My favorite person in the WNBA. It's been a minute, but I mean, there's been so many things going on of late that, not talking about her. God, I almost feel bad that I've neglected her. Like my neglecting. I'm sorry. Sheryl Swoops, I am so sorry for having neglected you. Not really. I should have been talking about you more and the dumb shit that you do, the dumb shit that you say.
Sophie Cunningham did what no one else had done. She stepped in when Caitlin Clark got hammered. Again, Sophie showed up with intensity. She boxed out, set bone-jarring screens, and made sure the cheap shots stopped. It wasn't dirty, it wasn't malicious, it was loyal. And in a league that claims to celebrate toughness, that should have been applauded. But instead, she got dragged. By who? None other than Sheryl Swoops. Huss decided to make Sophie public enemy number one for doing what teammates are supposed to do. Have your stars back when it matters most.
Sheryl Swoops, back in the news, getting pushback from fans, calling out Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, calling out Stephanie White. Oh, I don't know about coaching decisions, blah, 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 blah. Sheryl Swoops, what do you have to say for yourself?
But the irony is laughable. Sheryl Swoops made a career out of hard fouls, relentless defense, and jaw-dropping grit. Watch her highlight reels. They're full of chest bumps, elbows, and stare-downs. She was praised for it, called intense, competitive, a winner. But now she's out here accusing Sophie Cunningham of being a thug in sneakers for daring to play the exact same way. It's like watching a lion scold another lion for roaring too loud.
Now, keep in mind, this is Sheryl Swoops hating ass, lovingly hugging Angel Reese. And the reason I'm showing this is because Angel Reese gave Caitlin Clark the clothesline from hell last year. Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter's slam in to Caitlin Clark. All right? Angel Reese racially shaded Caitlin Clark earlier in the year in a social media post, talking about she was too scared to fight. Angel Reese went after Caitlin Clark. Sheryl Swoops just fine with all that. I'll give you two guesses as to why, but I'm willing to bet you only need one.
But here's where it gets ugly. This wasn't just criticism of playstyle. It was personal. Swoops didn't analyze the game. She attacked the character. She accused Sophie of being too aggressive, playing bodyguard, and acting like a fake tough girl, all because she dared to defend Caitlin Clark, a player who's been targeted more times this season than any other rookie in recent memory. The league's most fouled player gets elbowed, shoved, and blindsided. And when someone finally does something about it, that someone gets roasted by the so-called legend.
It does not surprise me that Sheryl Swoops has a take, let me keep it real, about a white player being dirty now. It's not surprising. She's right in with the group that wanted to get, I mean, let's be honest. Her mindset is right in with those retards that were trying to get Sophie Cunningham banned from the WNBA because somebody had the unmitigated gall to step up for Caitlin Clark.
And this is where fans are calling foul, because this isn't the first time Sheryl Swoops has taken a swipe at anyone who stands with Caitlin Clark. From podcast jabs to social media shade, Swoops has built a brand on opposing Clark, even outright lying about someone who's breaking every record in the books. She's downplayed Clark's game, questioned her leadership, and now she's going after her teammates. It's not analysis, it's obsession. Every time Caitlin's name comes up, Swoops is somewhere with a microphone and a grudge. And the question that lingers in everyone's mind, is Sheryl Swoops really a racist? Her actions seem to be answering that question.
You asked me about Caitlyn. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlyn should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
You want double standards? Let's talk about Angel Reese. When she blindsided Caitlyn with a clothesline from hell, Swoops posted smiling photos hugging her courtside. When Kennedy Carter body-checked Clark without the ball, Sheryl had nothing to say. But Sophie, the one player who set a legal screen and dared to talk back, now suddenly the entire league needs a moral reckoning.
3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoops. Sheryl Swoops is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlyn is dominant.
Meanwhile, the internet has spoken, and it's not siding with Swoops. Clips of Sophie setting hard picks and barking at defenders have gone viral. Fans aren't calling her dirty, they're calling her an enforcer, a protector, the James Johnson of the WNBA. Memes are popping off, and the comment sections are lit up with fans saying the same thing. Finally, somebody's got Caitlyn's back.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore, okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. And in last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlyn would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom, maybe thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get out. I love it.
And the best part? Sophie hasn't said a word. No tweet storms, no clapbacks, no interviews, just screens, defense, and hustle. She's doing what real teammates do, silently taking the hits so her star can keep cooking. Caitlin Clark is out there draining logo threes, and Sophie's setting screens like her life depends on it. That's basketball. That's team play, and somehow Sheryl Swoops turned that into a scandal.
I'm going to be honest, a lot of fans like myself have been waiting for some Indiana Fever teammate to step up and have these superstars back.
Let's call this what it is. Swoops isn't mad about the foul. She's mad about the spotlight, because for decades, she was the one on magazine covers, the one with the highlight reels. But now, the WNBA world revolves around Caitlin Clark, and that orbit includes new names like Sophie Cunningham. Swoops sees the shift, and instead of celebrating it, she's trying to fight it from the sidelines with bitter commentary instead of basketball IQ.
And I heard you gave me my flowers. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I got a little emotional. So I'm also gonna return this to you, one, because you deserve it. Thank you. As a black woman, to watch you walk in your truth, regardless of what everybody says, how they feel. Perfect name for this podcast. I love how you just keep proving.
Even WNBA royalty is calling her out. Cynthia Cooper, yes, the other Houston Comets legend, recently stepped in and checked Swoops over her constant attacks on Caitlin Clark. Cooper, who dominated alongside Swoops in the early WNBA era, didn't hold back. She praised Clark's toughness, her basketball IQ, and her massive impact on the league's popularity. But what stood out most? Her pointed message to Sheryl: you don't have to tear someone down just because they're getting the shine now. Let the girl play. It was subtle, but sharp. Cooper made it clear, greatness lifts others up. And if one of the GOATs is saying that, Maybe it's time Swoops stopped acting like a gatekeeper and started acting like a mentor.
One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing.
Yes.
A beast. She is the truth.
And here's what really stings. Sheryl Swoops, with her Olympic medals and championship banners, could have been the one lifting up the next generation. She could have been a bridge, a mentor. But instead, she's become the self-appointed vibes inspector, the sideline snark, a legend who's more focused on Twitter beefs than growing the game. And yet, the league moves forward. Caitlin Clark keeps scoring. Sophie Cunningham keeps defending. And the fans, they're showing up in record numbers to see it all happen. Because say what you want about drama, but nothing draws a crowd like loyalty and grit. And Sophie's got both. She's not here for the spotlight. She's here to throw a shoulder into anyone dumb enough to target her teammate.
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player. So
you want dirty? Go rewatch the 2004 Pistons. You want soft? Try watching a player get hip-checked into the scorer's table with no whistle. What Sophie's doing isn't dirty, it's necessary. And in a league where Clark's been treated like a piñata, finally someone's stepping in to say, enough. Let's be real. This was never about a foul. It was about control. The old guard doesn't like the new era. They don't like how fast the game's changing. And they sure don't like that the fans are choosing a rookie and her ride-or-die enforcer over tired legacy narratives. But here's the thing, they don't get to choose anymore. The game's passed them by. The ratings, the energy, the headlines, they belong to Caitlin, Sophie, and this fearless new wave.
To all the other media members that have seemingly lost their commentating gigs because of their disdain for the cash cow of the WNBA, that is Caitlin Clark. And maybe, Adam Silver had to have a conversation with Kathy Engel, braindead, Ben Daniels' favorite word, Kathy Engel, braindead, and let her know you need to deal with this crap because you cannot have these idiots here shredding our cash cow. The only reason people are watching your damn sport.
So let Sheryl Swoops keep shouting from the balcony. Let her keep waving the whistle like it still means something, because while she's stuck in 2003, the WNBA is finally waking up to what fans want: passion, protection, and players who don't back down. Sophie Cunningham may not be the star, but she's the shield. And if that makes her the villain in Sheryl Swoopes' story, then so be it, because in the real world, the fans know who's really keeping the game alive.
It's awesome. As soon as I watched it, I was so excited. Let them know is my entire thoughts, because they were trying to body her.
Oh yeah, big time.
They were trying to body her a bit, and she just in their face answers. Sophie Cunningham coming in there too.
She was barking the whole time too, underneath the hoop at that.
When she was grabbing the head.
Is that like who she is? She's like an enforcer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like she was potentially brought in like a James Johnson type role for Tyrese Halliburton. And it's like, thank God. I think this is a good play, not a bad play.
Sophie isn't slowing down. Caitlin's still hitting from the logo. And Sheryl? Well, she might want to update her resume, because if all you've got is bitterness and hot takes, the league's moving on without you. If you're riding with real teammates who protect their own, smash that like button and subscribe to Spotlight WNBA for more unfiltered takes, and drop a comment below. Time to protect Caitlin Clark, because if the legends won't stand up for her, someone has to, and that someone might just be Sophie Cunningham.